Hi, very good day for everyone, right? So once again, you all are warmly welcome to Pasan Vijayavardhana Economics So, right? Okay. Now, today we are going to start the next part of the lesson. So, what is the next part of the lesson in 11.1? That is labor force. Okay. So, in the labor force, we are going to discuss employment part today because we had taken a certain kind of introduction regarding the labor force in last video. Right, okay. Now let's move to employment. Okay. Now, as we all know, labor force is consisted with two basic parts. Number one, employment. Number two, unemployment. Employment and unemployment. Right. Now, when you discuss the exact meanings of this employment and unemployment, roughly in a simple way, I can explain that in this way. Alright. So, suppose there are two personalities. Okay. Say this is Sayuri. This is Sayuri. Okay. And I will take another party. Say this is Shahan. This is Shahan. Right? Okay. Oh, sorry. This is a trouser. Okay, Shahan. Right. Now suppose this Sayuri is working in a job. That means, suppose Sayuri is working in a certain kind of a bank like Ceylon Bank. Now, she is a cashier in a Ceylon Bank. That means Sayuri is already working in a certain economic activity. Sayuri is already involving in a certain job or economic activity. Am I clear? Right. But when you consider about the Shahan have first class degree. Degree is first class, but still he don't have a job. But he is willing to do a job in future. He is seeking for a job, searching for a job. So people who are searching for a job or willing to do a job in future, okay, who are looking for a job, those kinds of people are known as unemployed people. Clear? So Shahan represents the unemployment in the country and Sayuri represents the employment in the country. So if a person is involving in a job right now, then they are known as employed people, represent the employment of the country. So if a person is not involving in a job right now, but willing to work in future, now in these days, that kind of people are searching or looking for a job. So such kind of people like Shahan are belonging to the unemployment categories. Am I clear? That is the simple meaning. But now we are going to discuss this employment first with deep descriptions. Right. Now we'll move to the employment part. Okay. Now we'll discuss about the employment first, right, which is the first part of the labor force. Right. Employment. What do you mean by employment? What is the exact definition of employment? Yes, I'll write the definition of the employment. Let's see. Employment means involving in a job. Instead of job, I will take a word like this. Productive. Involving in a productive economic activity. Involving in a productive economic activity. At least over 1 hour. At least over 1 hour. in the previous week, before the survey, Am I clear? Okay, right. Now you know the unemployment data or the labor force participation data. All these data are collected by whom? Department of Census and Statistics. So to calculate the employment, the survey is also doing by Department of Census and Statistics. Okay, to consider a person as an employed person, that person should work in a particular job or an economic activity at least for more than 1 hour in the last week before Department of Census and Statistics implement the survey. That is the meaning of the employed person. So employed person is involving in a job. That involvement is known as employment. So how to define the employment, my dear friends? That is involving in a productive economic activity. That can be a job, that can be a self-employment opportunity, that can be any kind of farming activity. So it can be any kind of a productive economic activity. At least over 1 hour in the previous week before the survey. What is this survey? Survey is the survey which is conducted by the Department of Census and Statistics. That is the economic definition of the employment. Clear? But simple meaning is we're doing a job right now. That is the simple meaning. Right. Okay. Now let's come to the next part. Employment rate. Employment rate. Now we are going to discuss employment rate. You know, labor force, LF, labor force, is consisted of the two parts. First one, employment. The other one, unemployment. Right? If we express this employment as a percentage of the labor force, that percentage is known as what? Employment rate. Okay, right. Now let's start to present the employment as a percentage of the labor force. What should we do? Take an equation like this. First we take a line. What should be the numerator? Yes, employee population. So this should be divided by, what? Labor force. And should multiply by 100. Then what will represent by this employment rate? Yes, how much of people are working right now per every 100 persons belong to labor force. Labor force එක ඇතුළේ ඉන්න හැම මිනිස්සු 100 දෙනෙක්ගෙම කී දෙනෙක් දැනටම jobs වල employee වෙලාද ඉන්නේ කියන එක තමයි පෙන්නන්නේ employment rate එකේ. Right. What about the current Sri Lankan situation? In 2018 of the Sri Lanka, employment rate was recorded as 95.6%. 95.6%. So what exactly mean by this 95.6%? That means if you choose 100 persons from the labor force, more than 95 of the people are already working in different kinds of productive economic activities right now. That means if we choose 100 persons from the labor force, 95.6 persons are belonging to employed population category. Am I clear? Right. It's so cool. Then we are moving to discuss the employment based on different sectors. How much of people are employed in the agricultural sector? How much of people are employed in industrial sector like that? We'll discuss. Right. Now I'm going to explain that part by using Central Bank report. This is 2018 Central Bank report. Now, based on this report, now I'm going to identify, okay, how much of employment can be identified in different sectors, employment rates, right? So the first one, agriculture. So my dear friends, my dear students, okay, how much of people are involving in jobs under agricultural sector? Yes, that is 25.5% of the employment is belonging to the agricultural sector, right? Industrial sector. So in this sector, okay, 27.9 of the people are working in the industrial sector. Okay, the biggest one, service sector, where the labor force is highly employed. How much is it? 46.6% of the employment is identified in this service sector. Am I clear? So majority of the employed population are employed in service sector and secondly in industrial sector, and the least employment can be observed in the agricultural sector. That means nowadays people are not doing agricultural activities. Most of the people have tended to do what? Service activities. Now even I'm also providing you a service, not an agricultural product, no? Right. And the other one, okay, so when we consider about the public sector employment, okay, that means the government sector employment, that is 52.6%. That means this is actually not the public sector, state sector. Okay, and then there is another one, provincial public sector. So employment in provincial public sector is 29.8%. So state sector means මධ්‍යම රජයට වැඩ කරන පිරිස 52.6% සම්පූර්ණ employment එකේ. 29.8% වැඩ කරන්නේ පළාත් සභා යටතේ. Right. And the other one, semi-government sector. Okay, what is the employment in the semi-government sector? 17.6%. Now you can see, when you consider about this part, okay, the majority are working in the state sector. All the rest of the people are belonging to what category? Private sector. Okay, right. Okay, nice. This is the employment rate detail regarding the sectors. Okay, I think you got some kind of idea. And I have to discuss one more part under employment. Now the employment, this is the last part under employment, can be divided into two parts: formal employment and informal employment. Formal employment and informal employment. Formal employment and informal employment. Right. My dear students, what do you mean by formal employment? Yes, formal employment. Formal employment means, suppose you are working in a formal business organization, or you are working in a very standard job, okay, and where the business registrations are necessary, where we have to align with the different kinds of business regulations. So those kinds of jobs are belonging to what sector? Formal sector. Now, most of the public sector job opportunities. Now, I am working in the central bank right now. Central bank is considered as a public sector organization or institution, right? That means I am a public sector employee. That means I am a formal employee. Formal sector. Actually, this should be formal sector employment and informal sector employment. Okay, public working in a public sector, working in corporate sector, working in a private sector. Most of these organizations are very standardized, very formal. Because of that, jobs in those organizations are also called as what? Formal sector jobs. If a person involved in a formal sector job, like public sector job, corporate sector job, semi-government jobs, then they are known as what? Formal sector employment. Right, okay. The other one, informal sector employment. What do you mean by informal sector employment? Right, it is not formal. Mostly, that is something like involving in family business. Now suppose, okay, I have a mango family business. That means I'm plucking different kinds of the mangoes from a certain mango tree, and I'm selling those kinds of the mangoes at a certain kind of a shop. Right? Very simple and very small activity, no? Right? Then that is kind of a informal economic activity, no? So self-employment job opportunities involving in family businesses can be recognized as a what? Informal sector employment, right? Okay, however, okay, more than 60% of the Sri Lankan employed people are working under informal sector, not under formal sector. Okay, right. However, when we consider about the agricultural activities, is it formal sector employment or informal sector employment? It is also informal sector employment. But we cannot say exactly the agricultural sectors are completely belonging to the informal sector. When we consider about the Haley's Company is also marketing and producing agricultural products. But it is a formal sector institution, organization. Okay, but more than 80% of the agricultural sector is belonging to the category of informal sector. Clear? Right. Okay. It's very clear that employment is two types: formal sector employment and informal sector employment. If you are a worker in a public sector job or private sector job or semi-government job, it is more formal. Because of that can be identified as a formal sector employment. If you are a member of your family business or you are working as an unpaid worker in your own family business, or sometimes you may be a member of the self-employed job opportunity of your father or of your mother, or you may be a self-employed, okay, so then you are belonging to the category of informal sector employment. But however, in Sri Lanka, more than 60% of the employed population are belonging to what category? Yes, that is informal sector employment. Okay, when we consider about the agricultural sector, more than 85% of the agricultural workers are also belonging to the informal sector employment. Okay, right. That's totally all about the employment part. Now we have already done with the employment part of the labor force. Then we have to move to the next part, unemployment. Okay, we'll go to the next part where through the next video, so join with Prasad Vijayawardena Economic Zone in next video to watch something about very interesting part about unemployment. So thank you very much. Good luck.